Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is VitruvianPhysique. For today's video, we will be... yeah. Back when I was like 19 or something, I actually subscribed to, you know, those fitness magazines like Muscular Development, Men's Fitness, Men's Health, all those things. And I remember this one month in particular. It was like Men's Fitness. This was the average man. And it kind of analyzed from a fitness standpoint all these different metrics. And I thought, you know what? We are going to go through this together. And then also going one step further, I am actually going to give some of these a try myself. I'm going to see how yours truly stacks up to the average man. Either way, getting actually into it a bit more. Right off the bat, I do want to mention one thing that is bullshit is that this guy is not exactly the average man. This is some yoked fitness model, which I guess they just threw on the cover. But in reality, if you want to look at an actual average man, you would probably want to look at something a little bit more like this. This is actually very interesting. I actually used this in my book. I reached out to the guy who made this. This is a 3D rendering this guy put together, and it's actually truly mathematically the average man. They looked at the average man based on various sources in terms of all these different measurements, arms, waistline, weight, height, all these different things. And this guy literally in a 3D model put together the typical man in different cultures or different worlds. You got America, Asia, I think it was like Europe, Netherlands, something like that. So this is actually a much more realistic representation than this jack bastard who looks like he should step on a bodybuilding stage. First things first, percentage of men who consider themselves physically fit versus percentage of men who actually are. 69% and 13%. This is kind of funny because where the fuck do people get off? 69% thought that they were actually fit. This makes no sense to me because if you look at the States specifically, over 40% of the population is obese. Over 73% of the population is textbook definitionally overweight, and yet 69% of them think that they are physically fit. What the fuck are they smoking? This is funny. Next up, amounts spent on vitamins and supplements annually, $874? Who the fuck is spending almost $1,000 on supplements a year? This, if you look at a typical guy in terms of what he should realistically spend on supplements, if he really wants to go all out, again, a lot of stuff is optional. I mean, you're looking at, okay, let's break out the calculator here. Probably like what? I'm gonna go buy My Protein because they sponsor me and they have very good prices. If you're spending like $100 on 3 pounds of whey protein powder, then it's your problem. Realistically, okay, let's see, $40 for a decent, you know what, 4 or 5 pounds of impact whey, add 20 pounds, sorry, 20 bucks for some creatine, maybe another $20 for some ancillary random stuff, you know, like omega-3s, something like that. And then pre-workout, if you want to go that far, which is even then is optional, it's another $40. That's going to be what, every 3 or 4 months or so? You multiply that by 3 because 4 times 3. $360. $360. You can get even lower than that if you use my discount code. $360 a year, give or take. And that's like really going all out. That's like you having protein, creatine, pre-workout every single day. And even then, it's half of this number. $874. If you're spending almost $1,000 on supplements a year, number one, what the fuck are you doing? Honestly, at that point, just go buy some fucking Tren. It's gonna be more cost effective. Don't do that. Percentage of men who use their fitness equipment as a place to hang their clothes, 45%. That's funny. Beats per minute of a fit man's resting heart rate, 52. This is going to be the first one which I will be testing, putting myself to the test in this video. Fortunately, I actually track this all the time. I have one of these kind of like little Garmin fitness tracker things, and it tells you all the time what my heart rate is. And it's funny, you guys have always talked about how like I move so much and I get so hyper and crazy during these videos. You're not wrong. My heart rate at the moment is literally, I don't know if you guys can tell, it is 98. What the fuck fuck, man. Yeah, this is why every time I finish filming one of these videos, I feel like I ran 3 miles in terms of cardio. I gotta start doing more videos just to get shredded. But the other number that you guys just saw, 57, that is my resting heart rate. That's kind of when I'm like sleeping or doing nothing at all. Kind of tells you both those numbers. 57 is actually not bad. Pretty much the way that heart rate works, average resting heart rate, for those of you guys that don't know, the lower the number is, the more representation it is of how fit you are. This essentially means that your body is more efficient at essentially utilizing oxygen and overall just being a more athletic individual. It's kind of like the more fit you are, the less your body needs to work just to, in this case, rest or just survive. If you're somewhere in the 50s, you're probably a healthy, young, athletic individual. If you are in the 40s, you are pretty damn athletic. I think I can't remember, I think it was like Lance Armstrong or something had a ridiculously low resting heart rate. It was like 42 or 39 or something. It's just because his body is so efficient, because he's so advanced from an endurance cardiovascular training standpoint that he doesn't really have to beat that hard just to sustain his normal function. Whereas if someone's heavier, if someone's less fit, you're higher in the 70s or God forbid even the 80s or 90s. If your resting heart rate is like 90 plus, that means that you just sleeping, doing nothing at all, is as high as other people when they're doing like light exercise. This is like where that whole like, oh, health at every size, body positivity. If you're 250 pounds, you're completely out of shape. You just existing, not even moving or doing anything or exercising, just sleeping or sitting on your ass, and your heart is beating 80, 90, God forbid 100 beats per minute just to keep you functional. That's not health at every size. That blows my mind. Either way, think of it like golf. When it comes to your average resting heart rate, lower is better. And in my case, not bad. 2.87 hours of exercise per week. And even this, to be honest, kind of surprises me. If I look at myself personally, I work out for about an hour and a half, 4 times a week, right around now. It's hour and a half times 4, that's 6 hours. I go on a jog, 30 minutes, maybe like 2 times a week, that's another hour. And then I rock climb. Usually right now I'm rock climbing at least once per week, and it's a whole day activity, but I would say 3 hours, because it's like me and my partner go, so when I'm climbing and he's belaying and we switch. Overall, this comes out to about 10 hours, which is kind of a lot, but to be honest, it doesn't seem like a lot. This is why all those people out there who think like, oh my God, like it's so hard to exercise, how do people do it? It's not that much. You go for a jog, you work out an hour every other day or so, you have some extra fun on the weekends in terms of rock climbing or sports, whatever the hell you do. It's not that much. This barely works out to a little bit more than an hour a day. People will say like, oh, I don't have time to work out. No, you do have time. You know, also you have a lot of fucking excuses. 1.1 pounds, the amount of fat gain each year. That is disappointing, but also makes sense. Average number of pull-ups, 1. Fucking 1? Really, planet Earth? Are you that? To be honest, that's a little disappointing. This is our first fitness challenge of the day. I actually decided to give this a shot the other day. Let's see how I did. With the last one being ugly as hell, but chin over the bar, that's all that matters. Not bad. Age when the average guy's in the best shape of his life, 23. That makes a lot of sense. I see way too many guys, like, I don't know what the hell it is. They hit like 24, and then they just fall off a cliff. And at least women have certain excuses, right? They give birth, they have kids. If you have like a girl who has like 3 kids by the time she's 32, like her body's taking a couple hits. But for guys, it's like, why? They're gonna say like, oh, my testosterone's falling. No, it's not. Your testosterone declines like this much from your 20s into your 30s. They don't have like sky high testosterone, but it's not bad. It's still well within the normal range. I see this all the time. This angers me so much because it's like, you don't have kids. Your testosterone is like 98% what it used to be a few years ago. You have no excuse. It's just, you just got lazy. That's it. Average time to run a mile. So that's 1,600 meters. 12:17? I mean, I'm not like an expert on cardio. That seems like shit. This is the second thing. I decided to give this a shot. Now, bear with me, guys. I am a little bit out of shape from a cardiovascular standpoint. But nonetheless, I have been getting back into it slowly over the last month or so. And I got... That was hard.
You gonna say something?
Yeah. I'm gonna say I'm out of shape. 6:31, which, to be honest, is not that great. Definitely need to work on getting that under 6 minutes at the very least. This happens every year. It's kind of like I'm at the peak of my physical cardio shape, kind of like October, then it starts to get cold, I stop running outside, and then everything goes to shit, and then I gotta regain it all next spring. It's welcome to the cycle of life in Canada. Average pound of muscle, the average sedentary guy loses every year, 1. This is sad, but it makes sense. I mean, how many jacked guys do you see in the States, or globally for that matter, into their 40s or 50s? Combine that with the previous number we saw, 1.1 pounds, the amount of fat gained by a person every year, 1 pound of muscle lost every year. So it's funny, the average guy over the course of his life probably isn't getting all that much heavier. He's just gaining in fat when he simultaneously loses in muscle, which is, it's a body recomposition. It's just not the one you want. Okay, next up, size yourself up. This one's kind of cool because it actually shows you the progression over time throughout the different decades of your life. Okay, we got weight, sit-ups, push-ups, and bench press. Right off the bat, weight. Right now, I'm at about 193 pounds, give or take 191 pounds in the morning. I gain a little bit of weight throughout the course of the day after eating, drinking, all that stuff. Sit-ups and push-ups, let's go. I haven't done this since grade 9 gym class, but let's give it a shot. Baby, that push-up number, not bad if I do say so myself. I think, more than one push-up per second for a solid minute, both from like a speed and overall strength standpoint. I know a lot of people can't do 50 push-ups, period, let alone doing that in a single minute with decent form, if I might add. So I don't want to blow my own horn, but I'm kind of happy with that. Sit-ups, no comments. Bench press. This one is interesting. 180 pounds is the average for guys in their 20s. And to be honest, that's actually kind of higher than I expected. I know so many people who don't work out, that is, who can't even bench press one plate. They come nowhere near their body weight. The average man in their 20s can bench more than their body weight. To be honest, I have to call bullshit on that just a little bit. But either way, I know what you guys are waiting for. What is my number? I decided to not shy away from this. So here is me just simply throwing 3 plates on the bar. Weight for me, which is very heavy, but not too heavy, or at least not in the past. I haven't done anything close to this in almost like a year and a half. So yeah, guys, please pray for me in the next 6 seconds so that I don't tear my pec off the bone. What the fuck? Somebody to choose. Five 9.2 is the average male American height. That actually kind of answers the question that I was wondering earlier as to whether this is for America or global, because the fact that they specified here American male height, it makes me think that all these other numbers are globally, not specifically centered towards Americans, which would kind of make sense because there is no fucking way that the average guy in his 20s in America is 168 pounds. Bullshit. Closer to 190, 200 probably. And this other number also kind of confirms that 17.6% average body fat. Yeah, this, no way is this shit specifically centered towards American men. 17.6 is a lot more reasonable from a global standpoint because you've got Western countries like Canada, Mexico, America, you know, where the average is probably closer to 25% because everybody is fat. And then that kind of brings it up, and then it's brought down by sort of like Eastern Asian countries where the average person's running around at like 12% body fat and 130 pounds. And the two kind of average out to this. That probably makes a lot more sense. Size of the average guy's chest inhaled, 40 inches. I decided to attempt this myself. I had Jordan kind of like, you know, get the measuring tape and actually do this. And I actually tried to like really do this legit. And I came out to just around 47 inches. Now, I don't know if that's good or not. I remember guys like, I think it was like Steve Reeves had somewhere in the low 50s. Arnold had like high 50s and then crazy numbers. Like I think Ronnie Coleman was as high as 60 or something. Once you're in like the 50 plus range, you are already at such a massive level of chest, of pectoral development that's probably for a lot of people out there, unless you're tall as shit, it's just not attainable without some anabolic assistance. And once you're in the 55, 60 range, then at that point you're fucking Mr. Olympia. Size of the average guy's bicep, 13 inches. This one I actually did know about because I remember measuring my arms back in like high school when they were 14, and then college when they were 15, and then a few years ago when I first started kind of my YouTube when they were 16, and right now, bear in mind, I am a little bit higher in body fat, which is going to raise the numbers a little bit as opposed to when I'm lean, but right now they came out to just a tiny hair under 17. So it's kind of like 16.8, 16.9 inches, give or take. 34-inch waist, even that, to be honest, is a little surprising. Again, I think that really indicates that this is a global measurement, because in the States, I wouldn't be surprised if this is closer to 38, hell, even 40 inches. And then the rest of the world, it's lower, and then it kind of comes out to a medium somewhere in the 34 range. Right now, I am about a 32. I wear 32 pants, although when I compete, I'll never forget, for my first competition, I had to go and I bought a pair of trunks. And I took them home and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? It looked like I'm a little boy in daddy's clothing. Because at that time, I never really measured myself. But after cutting down and losing pretty much 20, 25 pounds for my first men's physique show, I went all the way down to a 28-inch waist. Maybe like 28 and a half. And the last thing in this article, 5.08, the average, length in inches according to the Journal of Urology. Now, guys, I'm very transparent on my channel. I pride myself on being very open and honest with you, and so I thought, you know what, I'm not going to shy away from this. I am going to include this measurement in this video as well. Unfortunately, I was not able to measure this today because this is the biggest ruler that I have, and it's not going to do it. I know, guys, I apologize. It's just not going to work. Either way, guys, that's it for me. Sort of a random video I wanted to do, but I don't know, I found this really interesting, and I haven't seen this page, this magazine cut out in like 12 years since I was a kid, and I actually own this exact copy, so I don't know, it's kind of cool. It's kind of like a blast from the past for me personally. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. For my online coaching and my programs, visit teamfitlife.com. Shop my protein using my link and discount code in the description box below. Use the VitVIP to get 40% off your entire order, and I will see you in the next video.